for our Design Review Board of September 6th. If we could start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So first we have attendance,
So noted.
and then next we have public comment. Is there anyone here who's not an applicant that wants to talk? Okay, then we'll go ahead and close public comment. Next we have approval of the minutes from August 16th. We've all had a chance to look them over. Unless there's any changes, I'd look for a motion.
And I spotted a couple, typographical
Okay.
changes here and there and provided it to Ms. Bibby.
So you'd make a motion to approve them as amended.
Exactly.
Perfect. So we have a motion by Clerk
I'll support
Brooke,
that.
support by Treasurer Shostak.
Mm-hmm.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Almost called you Treasurer Keeps.
Ah.
Might take me a minute. Next, we have the potential to move down, kind of change the
I'll
agenda.
Make a motion to move items B up to above item A.
Okay, so we'll move the signage down and move the site plans up. Are you?
Support.
So we have motion by Clerk Brooks, support by Treasurer Shostak. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right. So first we have our, I should put my glasses on so I don't mess up the address, 36300 Woodward Avenue. And we have the Sukkot, the event. And then
Yes.
what we'll do is we'll start with Andrea and then you can join us after, Rabbi.
Okay, so what we have before you is a request on behalf of the Jewish Values Institute, which is located at 36300 Woodward Avenue. Their request is for a special event application. The event itself is to honor a holy day or period, and I don't want to pronounce it incorrectly, especially in the presence of the rabbi. Is it Sukkot? Okay,
Oh,
he gave me
Sukkot.
he gave me the kind
Close
of.
enough.
Okay, Michael says kind of. Okay, so what the request is for is that they serve, they want to place a tent in their parking lot, which is highlighted here on your screen. It's located within one parking space directly behind their building. You can see the tent location. Can blow it up here shortly. The tent itself would only be placed in the parking lot for the duration of 1 week. It's the week of October 10th to the 17th. And what it would do is it just serves as a temporary, the tent itself serves as a temporary break room. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get myself over here. It's a temporary break that allows members of the Jewish community to eat together. And again, it's only for 1 week. The amount of people that would be attending this event on a daily basis ranges from 1 to 20 people. It has no impact on parking, and it's not intended for any numbers beyond their usual occupants and activity. This is the second year that the Jewish Values Institute has made this request. Last year, it was approved by the Design Review Board for the same time period. So they're asking for the same this year. And if, in fact, the Design Review Board would be of interest, they would have the ability to come back next year as a reoccurring special event, which means they would still have to notify the township, we would still circulate it for review, and then ultimately we could issue them a permit if there's no issues without them having to come back to the Design Review Board. So with that, Rabbi, if you'd like to come up here and answer any questions, or if the board has any questions for myself or the rabbi, I'd be happy to assist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to add one thing that we put in the application. Even though it is for, you said a week, it's approximately a week. It's technically 8 days, and we probably would need a day or two before to assemble it, and it could be a day or two after, depending on whether and when we can get volunteers. So we're looking at sort of an extended week.
And it appears that the tent is around 80 to 100 square feet, so it's a pretty insignificant sized tent that would not require a building permit.
Is it on the grass or is it in a parking lot?
It's on a parking space. It takes
Okay,
up
parking
one
space.
space approximately.
And is there any, it happened last year, I recall this special events application. I hope the process for Sukkot worked well last year.
Yeah.
Is this the same plan, the same
Exact
tent,
same.
everything exact same?
Yeah, in fact, when I resubmitted the application. All I did was change the dates, I think.
Okay, great.
The only question I had is, it says that you may consider grills and open flames. We would have to see and approve right now. Is that something?
Okay, no,
Okay.
we have no intention to do so, but
Okay.
based on the question, if it's an allowed thing, we might consider it.
Yeah, you just have to present it with this, and we have what the fire marshal
Correct.
checks, make sure it's safe, and then.
Correct.
Okay, but we don't
Sure,
intend
once
to.
you could add that.
Okay.
Anybody else have questions?
So how do we make it so that next year it's just perfunctory?
It's automatic.
It's automatic, so we
It-
need to.
it would-
On the third
yeah.
year.
To us, it's
Yeah.
automatic. The third time they get to come to the planning department.
Okay, so there's nothing special with the motion that we have to make?
No, it's just, this is something that when it happens so easily and they do the same thing every year,
Okay.
it just takes away the need for the rabbi to have to come in person.
Correct.
If anything changes, like we did have one group where they were no longer following what was approved, so they had to start over.
Got it.
But as long as it's the same event, same everything, they just,
Okay. So is the
Makes it
motion to
easier.
approve the application?
Motion to approve.
And I will
as
make a
presented.
motion to approve the application as submitted.
motion by Treasurer
Support.
Shostak, support by Clerk Brooke. All in favor?
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed? That passes.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you,
It's always
Rabbi.
Good to see you. Okay, so next we have 3750 Bloomfield Christian with the athletic fields. And we'll do the same thing where we'll start with Andrea and then you can come up.
See, it takes two of us to replace Wade.
Yeah, we miss Wade.
Aw,
Wade is such a sweet guy. He got
We're a good team, though.
chips to show
Right.
us Bloomfield.
All righty.
He's now the deputy there.
So, before you, we have a request for the Bloomfield Christian School to add some additional sporting facilities at their location at 3570 Telegraph Road. If you recall, maybe in 2021, the school did come before you to request a soccer field improvement, and that was approved for school programming only on school days, no earlier than 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. on weekends, with games no longer than 8 p.m. This also is a special land use because it is a joint site plan with the existing Bloomfield Hills Baptist Church property. So as part of the consideration of both uses, this was processed and approved back in 2013 as a site plan and a special land use. There has been some modifications over the years for some improvements to the property, all of which maintaining and keeping the criteria and standards of the original special land use. So in this instance, we have our location here on Telegraph Road. Okay. Let's try this. The property zone single family, which means that we do have to apply the single family provisions when it relates to our review. Okay.
See, he makes it look so easy,
Apparently, no one else uses the mouse anymore. Okay.
right?
All right, so we're going to be focusing on the westerly edge of the property behind the church and behind the school. It's an area that presently is either vegetation, landscaping, or a play yard, or a play area. And the outline, if you can see right above that heavy dashed, is where the soccer field begins. And so to zero in on that area, they're looking to insert a sports court that would accommodate basketball. It also does have some striping for pickleball. And there is, some details that are shown on the plan itself as far as what type of material that will consist of the surface of the sports court. There will be a net for any of the internal play, and then there is the reference to the basketball hoop itself on the documentation. But then also to the west, you'll see two areas that are designated as proposed batting cages. Those will be extended along that same area, if you will, immediately behind the soccer field. The batting cage is actually dual, so there's 2 batting cages. It's 30 feet by 70 feet, and the sports court is 50 feet by 84 feet. And then looking to accommodate, that area, it did necessitate having to remove a few trees. With the removal of the trees to accommodate that area, it did result in the replacement of 6 trees, and as a means to screen the batting cages, which would be immediately to the west, which would be abutting the residential that would be fronting on Franklin Road. They have placed in a alignment, if you will, the 6 evergreen trees to be planted along the batting cage. The height of the landscaping has been increased to meet the height of the batting cages, so they will be 12 feet in height. And that also then accommodates the overall height of the batting cages. And to give you a perspective of, let's see if I can zero out of here. I'll go to the next one. And to give you a perspective of the location of this area as compared to the abutting neighbors, the applicant has provided us with some dimensions from either Bloomfield Chase, which is to the north, which is the condominium development immediately to the north, probably closest to the parking area itself, and that is over 300 feet away. I think it says 376 feet from the batting cages to the first residence. That would be nearest. And then all those residents that are facing Franklin Road, they provided some distances ranging from 225 feet to 676 feet. And that also includes one of the neighbors that is on West Pemberton Court. So there is significant distance from any of the adjoining neighbors. We did ask as part of the request, the intended integration of the basketball court and the batting cages to the proposed operations, and the intention is to have it included in their school curriculum as it relates to their school sports. And in some instances, they will be used besides during the day, after school, and on weekends by staff, trainers, and coaches. They are requesting that they are able to start no earlier than 8 a.m., but they are requesting no later than 9 p.m. And I just remind the Design Review Board that when the soccer field was being discussed, it was determined that for that particular activity, that it would only be on school days no earlier than 8 a.m. and on weekends no earlier than 9 a.m., with the games no longer than 8 p.m. So they are asking for an hour later to be able to utilize those two on a seasonal basis up to 9 p.m. We did receive some input from the various departments, all of which have found no concerns with the proposal as it's been presented. This does require going before the Planning Commission, then ultimately the Township Board granting final approval before there can be any implementation. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions that the board may have. We do have a review with the landscape plan from Michael J. Doolin Associates, and he's found it acceptable based on the revised landscape plan that was received most recently, in supporting the selection of Norway spruce and white pines as their availability is more readily available this time of year, and also that there would be irrigation that would be extended from the existing planting area around the soccer field trees to now this proposed area to the southwest for maintaining the new plantings. There's no impact to operations, traffic. The existing access from Telegraph will remain. The circulation pattern along Telegraph, or from Telegraph into the parking lot, will remain. The drop-off and pickup of students will remain the same. So there's no modifications at all to, the actual operation of both the religious facility and also now, the school, with the addition of these two sport facilities. So with that, I can answer any questions, and I know we have Mr. Anton here to represent the applicant.
Do you want to come up first?
Thanks, Patty.
Sure.
So yeah, it just hit me as I was sitting here. This past August 16th, excuse me, we celebrated our 10th year in the township. So it's been 10 years since we actually started school, which is great to think back. We've had a wonderful 10 years. It's been a real blessing for us. And then in 2020, we did the expansion of our academic facility to the south. And then in 2021, we did the soccer field. So we're, as I joked about earlier, we're sort of doing this in bites. We're a small school, and it's, we can't do everything all at once that we'd like, but we're getting to the point where it's really becoming, a wonderful sort of full academic and athletic opportunity for our students, which is great. So happy to answer any questions. The only reason for the extra hour that we wanted to do is because in the spring, as the baseball season comes, we tend to have our practices, mostly because I'm the head coach, we tend to have our practices after work. And so sometimes we flip-flop hitting and fielding, before we can actually use our field in Clarkston, which is our home field. Once we get our home field, when the frost is gone, we're usually there. But on certain days, especially in March and April, we either are in our gym doing drills, or we're going to like the old varsity shop, Origin, to do hitting. And now, if we have cages, we don't have to spend that money somewhere else. We can do it, right at our own facility.
Want to start with questions, or?
I have a couple that come to mind. Want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay. There's no lighting, right?
No.
It was not discussed, so
Correct.
the batting cages aren't lit at the basketball court?
Yeah,
not
no,
lit.
same drill as the soccer field. We want to be really considerate to our neighbors. No signage, no lighting, no loudspeakers, nothing like that.
Okay. Was there any input from the neighbors received?
We got a couple of positive letters. Got one from 3670 and one from the church. Those were the two positive letters we got. I haven't gotten anything negative. A couple of questions from Bloomfield Chase. I answered those for them. They were very supportive of us during the soccer field.
Yes, they were.
So I don't expect anything but positive from them.
And did you receive, there's one that's particularly close on Pemberton. Is that the residence you refer to as 3670?
No, 3670 is 3670 Telegraph.
Okay.
Christie. There was an email that came positive from them.
One that's right next door?
Correct, yes. Pemberton's, we've really never heard from those neighbors before. In any of our processes, they've never come out one way or the other.
That's true.
Or they've been notified?
Yes, oh yeah.
I don't know, a couple, do you have any questions?
My question was about the lighting, and Martin already covered that.
My only question is, so pickleball is one of those things that people love to play and none of them want them near their yard.
Yeah.
So my only question is, there's different things that you can do to mitigate the noise.
Okay.
So have you looked into, there's different rackets, there's different balls. Have you already looked into that to make sure yours is the lower
No, but we
volume?
can. I was telling just Patty earlier today, the that image is just from the company called Sports Court. Tim Barnes, who's done a ton of these things in the area. That's a standard court that he puts in. We didn't go out asking for pickleball.
Well, no, it's okay to have it.
Yeah, no,
especially
I'm
if
just
you're
saying, we just didn't even think about, but we would commit to doing the low, it's not like we're gonna go out and have tournaments and those sorts of things. I can envision our athletic director or some of the gym teachers teaching the young kids,
Right.
because it's a fast-growing sport, obviously, but we really haven't focused on that. It's mostly for basketball
Yeah.
that we're doing this. But we will commit to those low noise.
Yeah, there's some that make louder, some make lower, and we only learned all this because of a country club that was putting some in, and boy, did we learn fast how
Oh,
many
I can
people
imagine.
have opinions about pickleball. And again, it wasn't that they hate pickleball, they love playing it, they just didn't want it in their
Okay.
backyard.
Sure.
But there were ways to mitigate, so,
Great.
and knowing how you've handled with your neighbors.
Yeah, we for
I
sure
would
will do
assume you'd
that,
be good with
for
that.
sure.
That was one question, and then the other one was just the hours. It's just, I always like to keep consistency with that, but,
I mean, look, if you guys said, hey, we really want to keep it to 8 o'clock, we would say yes. We'll work our schedule. It's not like a deal breaker for us. I just know that we've never had an issue. In fact, it's so funny, the folks from Bloomfield Chase, sometimes they just come and watch our soccer games. It's so cute. They're these little people just come and just put their, and we're like, do you have a grandson? No, we're from next door. We just want to watch. So it's nice. But if you wanted to just do 8 o'clock, we could do that.
we sometimes do that with, we can hear, I'm a couple street over from the booth ones. You know, they'll have Saturday baseball.
Okay, yeah.
There's nothing going on.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll go watch the Little League. It's cute.
It is cute, yeah.
So I guess I'm now officially an old lady too.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Oh, man.
So I have the same hours concern. I mean, consistency is important to me too. And
Let's just do that. Let's just do it the same as the soccer field. It hasn't produced any issues, so let's just keep it that way then. I don't want to, because that's going to come up at probably, and I wanted to ask you, we don't have to go to ZBA?
You'll have to go to ZBA.
Okay, okay. So
Planning.
those issues will come up at ZBA and Board of Trustees too, so let's just do it as the same as soccer.
Otherwise, do you have any other questions? Otherwise, it looks pretty good.
One other thing, on the agenda, just in case for your motion, the address was wrong.
Oh.
It was just, it's 3570, and I think on the agenda it said 3750,
3570.
just for your motion.
Perfect. Thank you. Is anybody prepared to make a motion?
I can make a motion.
Okay.
So I move to approve the site plan special land use as submitted, subject to hours being consistent with the soccer field hours as previously agreed to, and forward this to planning and ZBA for their consideration.
Perfect. So a motion by Clerk Brooke,
Support.
support by Trustee Shostak. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, darn it. Okay, so he just became
know, I
treasurer.
know.
And ironically,
I'm
I
a
called
township
him,
resident, I've watched the news.
ironically, I called you Treasurer Shostak before he became treasurer,
Sorry.
and now I'm stuck. Sorry, Treasurer Shostak. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? That
Thank
does
you
pass.
guys very much, I
Everything
appreciate
you
it.
do.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's
Thanks,
so funny.
Matt.
I've got so used to not saying it. Okay, so now, I guess with the signage, we don't have anybody here. Are they pretty?
You know, I
straight-
emailed both of them,
Yeah.
just for clarification. Maybe
Yeah.
they didn't want to come out in the rain. But I will say they both comply.
Then.
So if you would like me to present them, I certainly can do that. Okay.
That helps. So first, what we'll do is go to 6400 Telegraph Road, Ruby's Balm, She.
Okay, so this project you may be familiar with is located at 6400 Telegraph. It's at the, off Telegraph Road on the west side, north of Maple. What we have before us is a request for a new tenant, which is Ruby's Balm. They are proposing a sign that is 12 square feet. This would be, so it's a 6 foot by 2 foot sign, as you can see presented there up on your screen. It's a single-sided aluminum cabinet with routed out aluminum face with push-through acrylic letters and LED illumination. There's no neon and no flashing associated. The tenant space would allow for this tenant to have a sign that's 15.84 square feet. They are coming in under at 12 square feet. I just want to point out too that in addition to the request to install the new Ruby's Balm, along with this request is to relocate the existing and previously approved She sign, which you can see up on the elevation is being shown. The way it's being shown on the elevation is as requested. So they'd be relocating the She sign, which is 10 square feet, which was approved back in 2021. And now they're coming and they just want to relocate that she sign, and they also want to install the new Ruby Balm. They both comply. They're both very similar in coloration and actually provide a very kind of monotone color across the front of the building. So I just wanted to make sure that you understood that the request was to install the Ruby Balm as well as relocate the previously approved she sign.
That helps, because I was getting confused of if it was replacing or
Yeah.
if it was, so thank you for clarifying.
Sure, and actually, I'm sorry, this was actually approved back in 2018, the years are flying by. So that was the sign that was originally approved back in 18. So yeah, they would both be on the Telegraph side facing Telegraph, and they both comply. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Anyone have any?
I have one. Are the signs look to me, they appear to be manufactured in the same way. They have the same look and single-side aluminum cabinet with
Yes.
face pushed
Yes,
out.
we do have I do have a copy of the plan from 2018 for She, and it does say that it's routed push-through graphics, LED lighting, cabinet, so yes, I would say it's the same design.
Okay. Going to make a motion. So I move to approve as submitted for Ruby's Balm sign and for the relocation of She sign.
Motion by Clerk Brooke,
Support.
support by Treasurer Shostak. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That does pass.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go on. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go on to 42967 Woodward Avenue, Middle East.
So this is the building which is located right at the southwest corner of Square Lake and Woodward, as you can see up on your screen. This was the former location it's in the outbuilding to the top of your screen. This was formerly Qdoba, and they have a new tenant. It's called Middle Eats. And their request is for one sign, which is actually less than what the previous two tenants had. They actually had two signs, so this is less than the previous approval. So they're asking to locate it along the frontage, which is to the north, which is directly facing Square Lake. And here is a nighttime rendering of what the proposed sign would look like. Based on the facade measurements, which is when you take 6% of the total street side facade, this applicant would be permitted to have a sign that is 45.36 feet. This sign is coming in at exactly 42 square feet, so they're under the calculation. And then also we took the calculation of the flame in the center of the sign, which is only allowed to be no more than 5% of the total sign area. Based on the 42 square foot sign, they would be allowed a 2.1 square foot logo, and they came right in at 2.08. So they do come in at the under 5%. It's a pretty minimal design. The colors are nothing too bright, and it does comply. And you can also see the sample of the push-through lettering with the LED on the right-hand side. And this is the current sign, which is existing to be removed. So it does comply with the size and logo. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer. This is located within the B3 zoning district.
And they only wanted the one side, not the other facing side.
Currently, the request is for only one sign.
Usually we get over requests, not under requests. All right. Anybody have any questions? I'd look for a motion.
Move to approve as submitted.
Motion by Clerk Brooke,
Support.
support by Treasurer Shostak. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That does pass.
Thank you.
Do we
Guys.
have any recent design review board?
Nothing to add.
All right, so our next meeting date is Wednesday, September 20th. With that, I look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Clerk
Support.
Brooke, support by Treasurer Shostak. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We'll see you then.